anti-government demonstrations in Thailand. Opposition groups there are calling for the entire nation to join in on protests. They're demanding that Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra step down.
It was put forward by the opposition last week. Anti-government protesters, meanwhile, have swarmed into the Finance Ministry compound on Monday, and they're still there. They're vowing to extend their protests to other government offices, military and police bases and TV networks. They want the Prime Minister kicked out of office. They claim she's just a puppet for her brother, former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who was ousted from power back in 2006. Well, in response, the Prime Minister has expanded security measures in the capital.
Although the leader of the opposition is outnumbered in Parliament, the unrest on the streets is growing. Describing the protesters' actions as a threat to stability, Yingluck has invoked special powers to maintain security. However, she didn't sanction the use of force to break up the occupation of government buildings. Thailand's been plunged into the deepest political uncertainty since the ousting of Thaksin in a military coup in 2006. He was later convicted of corruption and lives in self-imposed exile, but exerts enormous influence over his sister's government.
The special security law allows authorities to impose curfews, set up checkpoints, and restricts the movement of demonstrators.
Forces opposed to former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra make up one of two factions whose bitter differences largely define Thai politics.
We're stepping up our campaign to remove the Thaksin regime.
I want fairness for the people and an end to this corrupt government.
On November 1st, Yingluck took a huge political gamble. She forced an amnesty bill through the lower house of parliament that could have led to Thaksin being pardoned.
We're sending a signal to all Thai people who love this country to stand up and disobey the government, to seize all the ministry buildings so that the Thaksin regime cannot function anymore.
Hundreds of pro-government supporters gathered at the opposite side of the city. Thaksin supporters, the red shirts, and opponents, the yellow shirts, have been in a power struggle since the 2006 military coup that drove him from the country. The latest unrest was triggered last month by a government-backed amnesty bill. If passed, it could have allowed the former premier to return from exile without facing sentence for corruption charges. Although the bill has now been dropped, demonstrations have escalated.